everybody, to another Raw recap here on Pro Wrestling Sheet. I'm your host, John Rocha, joined as always by the editor-in-chief of Pro Wrestling Sheet, the man over there with a new haircut. Look at that guy. He looks so clean and high and tight there. Ryan Satin, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. Yeah, sometimes you got to clean it up a little bit. It was getting out of control. My hair was too long. I hated my last haircut so much, so I was trying to let it grow out a little bit so the next person could fix it. That's why there's been so many hats on this stream lately.
Okay.
I hated my last haircut, so I feel better now. And then the beard, it was more so like I was like, I'm not good with numbers. Like I don't know, number 2 or 1 or whatever.
Oh, right.
I just said like, tighten it up. And she tightened it up.
Yeah,
so she went all the way as tight as possible. But I'm good. I'm happy. I'm happy with the haircut. I'm happy to be here.
Okay. Were you happy with Raw? I think that's about the same reaction. I was like, meh, from beginning to end.
You know what it was? It felt very uninspired, in my opinion.
Yes.
I felt like, and it was very wrestling heavy, which isn't a bad thing. And the matches were all good. Like I'm not gonna say bad things about a lot of these matches. It was just like, it was just kind of like it was there. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like these are things that happened. Like I feel like there's a few things that I like. There's matches that I really liked.
Yeah.
But like as a show that captivated me, I don't know if I felt like it did.
I think the booking was fine. I think the results were sometimes more meh than exciting. More okay than yeah. So I thought the booking of the show was great. I thought the performances overall didn't 100% get there, or the look of everything didn't 100% do it for me watching it. It was at times like super frustrating to be disappointed and let down consistently throughout the night. And it'd been a few weeks since we had that for a Raw show. And I told you, everyone's great when you're starting out the first couple episodes. Can you consistently sustain this kind of interest and excitement and drama? Unfortunately, I think this is the first Raw in a month maybe that they haven't been able to do that. And I was just like disappointed overall.
Well, and not trying to compare the two, because obviously AEW hasn't had a show yet. But that's one of the things I keep trying to tell people of like that are like, AEW is going to change the game. And I'm like, that would be awesome. I would be hopeful
I'm cool
of
with that.
But let's talk after episode 15.
Right.
Like 15 weeks of television is difficult.
Months. Let's talk about 6 months later.
Yeah.
If you're still consistently doing well, then you've got some.
But even 15, because you can look at 15, like most TV shows back in the day at least, most of the shows were like 12 episodes.
You're right.
Or 24 or whatever. But like 12 was like kind of like the standard for a long time.
You knew if it was going to be successful.
You knew if it was going to be successful because they can do 12 episodes that were good. Right. So I'm going to give, that's why I say, talk to me at episode 15. And I'm pumped for AEW. Right. I think they have the potential to be able to do it. I'm just saying that it's not easy to do that kind of thing or sustain something for that long. And you're right. Raw has been pretty dope the past couple weeks. For me, it was the opposite this week. I felt like all the performances were fine. I didn't have a problem with like any of the performances really. To me, it was the booking. Of things. I was just like, and it wasn't that it was bad. It was more just like, not exciting.
Okay.
Raw's felt pretty exciting the past couple weeks.
Yes,
I feel like I didn't. There wasn't a lot that excited me this week.
Okay. All right. Well,
I'm so surprised they didn't mention Seth and Becky getting engaged.
Yeah, not at all.
Not once.
Not a one mention. They mentioned it all over their social media.
Sasha and Becky mentioned it once. Not all over their social media.
Greatest thing ever, love of my life. Yeah, love it.
I got so much shit on Twitter when I posted that story, because I called them the first couple of WWE.
Oh.
First of all, everyone... Actually, I said
It's Randy. It's Macho Man and Elizabeth.
I should have said the first couple of WWE. What I said was WWE's first couple. And first of all, there was a lot of dumb people that thought I said... Like, as I was trying to say, this is the first couple ever of in WWE history. No, it's obvious now.
You're saying currently.
Like currently, the first couple. Like like you would say with the president and kind of stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Well, you can't say Macho Man. That's so past. We're talking about now. The current.
The first couple of WWE ever is Macho Man and Elizabeth.
No, like the president. Period. Like I'm using it as in the term of like
current.
The
you're
first couple.
Current. Right.
Not.
But you have to understand, first couple implies like the greatest.
No, first couple is like just like with the president. When the president is not president anymore.
Yeah.
Him and his wife are no longer first lady and all that kind of stuff. They're not the first. They're not the first.
Yeah, her title is first lady, right?
Yeah, and when they're out of office, they're not first lady anymore.
But there's no title in the WWE for first lady.
Well, that's why.
So when you say first couple, people immediately think, well, who is the first couple of WWE? And it's always Randy and Elizabeth.
No, but I'm not. But you can't
I get your point. I totally get your point. The thing is, no one is called the first couple of WWE except for Randy and Elizabeth.
That's
no
not
one's
true.
Sure.
People say that about Stephanie and Triple H all the time.
No.
What do you mean? Of course, they're technically the first couple of WWE.
They're not the first couple.
They're in charge of the company and they're married.
Yeah, but first couple of WWE implies they're both part of the.
No.
I guess
the word "first couple" is like when you win Homecoming King and Queen. You're
Sasha
like it's for that time because it's a title you have earned.
Right, but then
they're both the two top title holders in WWE, so they're the first couple of WWE.
Well, then Becky and Seth can't be that if Stephanie and Triple H are still around.
I'm saying. I agree. That's why I technically think that technically the first couple of WWE is Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, because they're both the champions.
We'll just have to agree to disagree. I just think it's always Randy and Elizabeth.
That doesn't make sense. They're both dead. How could they be the first couple of WWE?
How dare you? How dare you speak?
Yeah, that'd be like saying, well, the first lady is still Martha Washington because she was the first lady.
Well, she kind of was. But like they're always going to be considered the first couple of the WWE.
Moving on.
I get
clearly not being heard here.
I hear your point. I'm telling you, this is how people revere Elizabeth and Randy. They consider them the first couple of WWE. And there is no abdicating that throne or that title. None. Anyway, let's move on to someone who's never going to be the first couple, and that's Sasha. Sasha Banks came out here. Listen, can Michael Cole retire boss time? I would love it. I would love it if he could retire saying, it's boss time. It's never been badass when he said it. It's never been cool when he said it. It frustrates the living hell out of me when he says it.
I like it.
It doesn't come with any kind of strength, gravitas, or badassery when he says it. It's lame. So when
I actually like when he says it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
it's like a fun thing. It's boss time. I like it when he says it.
So ridiculous.
Yeah, I like it.
If Corey Graves did it, if they made him do it, that'd be great. Anyway, Sasha Banks comes out. They play the package of the highlights between her and the Natty, and then they use real. Then she launches into her promo where she talks about the real stuff that you reported on and others reported on that happened.
I reported on it.
I gave you first credit.
No, I know, but the other people, most people didn't back me up on it, so that's why I say that.
I was going to get to that, yeah. First reported, and then others picked up later about what happened with Sasha after the WrestleMania loss with the tag team titles to the Iconics, which I think we can all agree on was a terrible decision in retrospect. And so she actually leans into it and says, yes, I threw a temper tantrum. I did. Yes, I lay on the floor. I did. And then I took my ball and went home. Why? Because I didn't make as much money. I didn't care about these tag team titles. I wanted to main event WrestleMania. So she kind of twists the narrative around as a heel.
I spent my WrestleMania money on a bunch of trips, even though Becky made more than me. Which I loved that.
Yeah, that was good. But twisting the actual real life thing that occurred into a narrative for a heel persona, which is always great because the fans kind of love it when they can actually grab onto real stories. And then Natty comes out and interrupts her and they get into it. So let's deal with the promo. Did you like this promo? Did you like this the way it went down?
Well, first, I've never had my feed blow up as much as it did during a promo on Monday Night Raw than it did last night. So there were a lot of people that were like, maybe we should apologize to Ryan Satin. There were a bunch of others that were like, F Ryan Satin still. Look, I'm not trying to gloat. All I'm trying to say is that like I did get a lot of shit for that for a long time.
You did?
So I was joking, obviously, when I tweeted that last night. I don't expect anyone to apologize to me. It's a stupid, silly thing that happened on a wrestling show. I was joking last night. Who knows? You know, there's only a few people who really know, I guess, what happened that night. You know, there's still people who claim it didn't happen. So
certainly she can't claim that. She admitted that it did.
Well, people are like, my feed was a bunch of people going, oh, well, it's a kayfabe promo. You can't say
for
it.
God's sakes.
But I feel like if it 100% didn't happen, they wouldn't have mentioned it on television.
So
like
the Lita
that.
and Matt Hardy thing was kayfabe promo as well. The Edge was all kayfabe. Is that what you're telling me? Come on. There's real stuff.
And so, it's weird. People last night were, my timeline was weird. It was a lot of anger still over that story.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I mean, it did. I mean, in my opinion, this is the best version we're seeing of Sasha in a long time, and this is what we should have seen of her all along. So I'm enjoying that they have taken this and they're running with it a little bit. Yep. As far as the promo is concerned, it was all right.
It wasn't great.
It wasn't what I wanted.
I'm going to straight up tell you, it wasn't great. This was a harbinger of the disappointment that was to come for the rest of the night. Here is a premier slot for Sasha to come out first on Raw and you're going to come out and deliver a kind of uneven promo, this is a massive mistake.
And it could have been the writing. I don't know. I don't know. It's possible that they're trying to tell a longer story. Not positive.
Yeah.
But like Becky's promo last week was so much better. It was so good. That was last week, right? When she had that killer promo last week, right? Yeah.
Since she became the man, all her promos, you could argue almost all her promos are damn good. Not great always, but certainly damn good to great.
Did you see what Becky said about the promo?
Oh, no.
She tweeted and said, pity you can't promo and emo memes and song lyrics too, huh?
Oh, wow. That's fair. That's fair. Eviscerated her on that one.
Yeah, so you know what? I think that it was smart to take on the
yeah,
I
all
want
that
to say
happens.
rumors because it's my report. To take on the situation of what happened with at WrestleMania and her taking a hiatus away, to kind of take that on and then run with it in her heel character makes sense to me. It makes perfect sense. I liked what they did later on with Sasha. Mm-hmm. It's just for something, I don't know what it was. It started going. It was like, oh, this is it. She's gonna start shooting on people or whatever. And then it just kind of like it cratered out real quick.
Yeah, it cratered real quick.
Yeah.
And you were like, what? Where are we going to go? And I think Natty ran in earlier than maybe they had anticipated her running in. Because you want to give Sasha time to really establish herself in a heel promo. And then she started going the easy route. And I lied to her. And I looked in her face and I said, your daddy. Like that, there's no ingenuity. There's no inventiveness to that. That's very simple and straightforward. Whereas Becky would have found a new way to say it. And that's the thing. The great ones with the promos. And this is something you pushed back on me on a couple weeks ago when I said Sasha's not always known for cutting great promos. I think that's one of the weakest parts of her as a wrestler is her promo stuff. She can merch. She can sell. She can promote. She can wrestle. But promo-wise, sometimes she's not as quick on the draw and able to flow with situations naturally as you would like her to be. Because I think that's one of the biggest reasons why she doesn't hit that superstar status fully and consistently is that she doesn't have that extra oomph that you need to get you over the top. Everything else is fantastic. I'm a massive fan for Sasha, but this is another example of her not stepping up to the plate when she has the opportunity to sell herself big time in this turn and become this heel boss character.
Yeah, no, I'd be very interested to see how much involvement she had in this promo and what was actually written for her, because I feel like they could have written something stronger for her, or at least
certainly possible
worked with her to get a better promo. I think people wanted to like hear what she had to say finally, and it was now 2 weeks of like sort of lackluster responses.
The what chance started almost within a minute or two of the promo, which is never a good thing. And she couldn't, I felt like she was falling back on the stuff she knows rather than the more inventive approach to it. So
I do think that the end of the show when she, or later in the show when she wrestled,
that was great.
Much better presentation of Sasha Banks. So we can get to that there. And I also feel like Graves has been a huge help on commentary in getting this over, this whole situation of him being like, I told you all, that's how she's always been. She's just finally finding herself. She finally realized that she didn't need to put up this fake facade because that's who she is. She's a bad person. I think that's all really good.
Yeah, I agree. It does help there's no real heat between them, right? That's more just
I don't think.
Okay.
I would imagine he's just helping her out.
Because he's always on her. Always, right? And I think this is fun. It'd be interesting to see if Graves all of a sudden starts becoming a fan of her, like he did with Alexa, because she's the heel. Right, exactly. Like Heenan. Heenan was always like, when Hogan turned, he was like, I told you, I knew he was this for the whole time. He never cheered for Hogan, even when he was heel, but he always bashed Hogan. And when he turned, he was like, you all have been wrong this whole time. I knew this guy was a bad dude from the beginning, so he felt that vindication. So I wonder if that's kind of the same playbook.
That's what I think. I think they're definitely on that playbook for sure.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Street Profits come in next. Oh, wait, no, wait. They get into it. They fight. They get pulled apart. We know they're going to fight later. This was cool. I'd never seen Natty in jeans, so I was like, cool to see her running down, like totally doing her thing in regular street clothes. All right, the Street Profits come in, hyping all the matches that they got coming on. They're just hype men now, right? Is that what's going on?
Well, I mean, they seem like they're doing little teases for them gonna have like, I forget who it was about, but there seemed like there was a little tease for them wanting to get in the ring soon.
Yeah.
So
it needs to happen.
I think they're just, spoiler alert. So if you're listening via podcast, fast forward 30 seconds now. they lost the tag team titles at the tapings, and that's
Right.
why they haven't. I've noticed they haven't had the tag team titles on Raw since.
Right.
My guess is they're just waiting for that to play out on NXT TV, and then when that happens, we'll finally see them transition to an actual match.
How far behind is the tapings to the screen, to the showing? To the showings, usually.
I think last week was, because how long ago was Takeover? No, I think they already started. No, they already started airing them, but if I recall correctly, they taped. It happened near the end of the taping.
Okay.
So a couple weeks from now is probably at least 2 to 3 more weeks.
So do they tape a full month of shows in one day?
Sometimes more, right? Because they tape.
So you can wrestle
In
multiple
one day.
times?
No, because in one day they tape 3 episodes, I think.
Okay. You could
Maybe
conceivably
4,
wrestle
maybe
3
4.
times in one day?
I'm trying to think in my head now.
That's a lot.
I think it's 3 because they usually do them back-to-back days. I think
That's incredible.
I think it's 3 and 3.
All right.
I think. Ugh, that's gonna make me look bad.
No.
You don't know. Sometimes people in the comments are like, "There's a computer right in front of them. Why don't they just Google it?" It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Make it sound like an old Mattel commercial. This is right, G.I. Joe's coming to you live. It's G.I. Joe on ice. All right, let's move on to the first round of the King of the Ring tournament. Ricochet.
Hey, you know what? I finally saw, since you brought up superhero stuff,
Sure.
I finally saw Shazam.
All right, here we go. Here's another segue. All right.
Pretty good movie.
Shut up.
Did you not like it?
I liked it, but it was cheesy as balls. It was cotton candy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely like an old superhero movie, and we're so
Right.
used to like Marvel that seems to kind of like take it
Yeah.
up here, and then DC was like real dark status. But I kind of liked there was like a fun DC movie. I liked that there was a DC movie that didn't suck.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, it's called the Big Red Cheese for a reason, because it's cheesy. I'm just always caught up in the Kingdom Come version of Shazam, and he's a little more darker. And I would have liked a little more weight to the whole situation, which I think they tried, but they kind of played both sides.
It feels like. Question, you
Yeah.
maybe know more about this,
Shazam's one of my favorite.
and it's still wrestling related.
Sure.
So The Rock is doing the Black Adam thing.
He is.
That ended up being separate from this movie. I noticed he was still credited in the movie as
He's
like an
executive
executive producer.
yes.
Was that just a technicality, or was he technically still involved? Like, was he actually involved?
he's
in this
involved.
movie and is hoping to connect his Black Adam. So he'll do a Black Adam movie, and then hopefully they do a sequel of
Yes.
the two.
If you remember in Jamon Hansu when he's telling it they had another champion,
Yes.
that's Black Adam. That's The Rock.
Yes. I went and read
Yeah.
what Black Adam's story is. So, but The Rock is still connected
Yes.
to this. So he's hopefully doing his Black Adam movie next.
Yes, they think they're going to do a Black Adam movie next separately, another Shazam movie, and then in the third film is when Black Adam and Shazam are going to do it up, which I don't know if it's wise. Look, I love Dwayne Johnson to pieces, but my brother isn't getting younger every year. He's getting older.
Well,
and
isn't
it's
he
tougher.
someone that's supposed to be like been in space for decades,
Yeah, sure.
trying to get back or
I'm
whatever?
saying physically, Dwayne is, I don't know how much he's got left, to be honest with you.
He's got
all those years in the ring and all that stuff. I don't know.
he's got
man.
plenty of time left.
All right.
As an action star,
I hope so.
oh yeah, Schwarzenegger's still doing it. Not perfectly, but he's still doing it.
If you say so.
He's got the new Terminator coming out. He's got a new Terminator coming out.
He's a mannequin, essentially. All right. Anyway, yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I get it. I like that you like. I thought it was an enjoyable movie. It was a little cheesy for me, but I don't think doesn't make it a bad film at all.
And I super didn't have the end spoiled for me somehow this
good.
entire time, which I was like, I am shocked I didn't have any of this spoiled for me.
Yeah.
Good job, internet. Thank you.
My only complaint about the movie, honestly, is that the fact that they didn't do any background work on those kids. Like, you needed to give me a little more on these kids. They're just stock characters.
Fair, totally.
That was frustrating.
Totally.
Oh, nerdy Asian kid.
The little black girl got some a little bit of a
Yeah, 'cause
story.
she was
'cause
cute.
She was cute.
But what about the fat kid who got the A, the kid got an F and he was like, we never revisit that storyline. Like, that poor kid is failing out of school. That matters more than Homie turning into Shazam. So I think there was just more there to explore with these kids that
Then you
they
can also
should have
run
fleshed out.
But then you also run the risk of becoming this season of Glow, where it's like, okay, we get it. Everyone needs a backstory. Like this season of Glow was like, everyone's trying to get an Emmy nomination.
Yeah.
Where it was like everyone had some deep storyline. I just wanted like fun wrestling stuff.
I'm 2 episodes in, and this is the worst season for me.
I didn't dislike it, but you'll see that if you haven't finished. I don't think I spoiled anything by saying that. They very much are like, this is the season where we want to try and get Emmys for people. So it's all like,
Okay.
they're giving them all like
their
one
own episodes.
storyline, one episode each, where they can all be like, "This is Miami episode."
Well,
you know?
I downloaded them all onto my iPad to watch.
Yeah, you're traveling tonight.
To watch tonight. That and the second season of Breaking Bad, because I'm going to start catching up on that before the movie comes out. So I'm going to watch the season while I'm in Australia and see if I like it. But so far, the 2 episodes in is depressing.
The whole season's pretty depressing.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is Vegas. I'm already depressed when everyone says Vegas.
Yeah, well, I kind of feel like they nailed the Vegas vibe though a little bit, because it's depressing and lots of sex. So it's like there's a ton of boobs and wieners, and it's super depressing.
That's true. There was some boobs in the second episode.
Oh, this is the
really
most
surprised.
I've ever seen boobs and wieners and glow.
Really?
Oh, the whole season. It's just like boobs and wieners. So much boobs and wiener and sex.
Fair enough. There's your review. So much boobs and wieners and sex.
That should be on the bottom
Ryan
of the thing. For the commercial for Glow. Lots of boobs and wieners.
On the Blu-ray, boobs and wieners and sex. Come watch the season. What were we going to point out? Are we moving on to...
Oh, yeah, no, Ricochet.
Oh, yeah,
Real life
Ricochet versus...
superhero. That's where I was actually going.
Good,
Sorry.
good call. Good segue there. Versus Drew McIntyre in the first round of the King of the Ring tournament. Ricochet wins in another great match. This was
so good.
I wanted this match to keep going. It was so good. And I never want a McIntyre match to keep going. This felt great.
McIntyre's great.
Not because he's bad. It's just when you hit that like 10, 15 minute limit. Okay, I've seen let's just end this thing.
Oof, I've seen McIntyre go for a half hour.
Really?
I'm pumped. Yeah,
Okay.
he's a killer.
I like this match. This was a good match.
So good.
Yeah. And I was a believable win for Ricochet.
You know, huge upset.
Yes.
But at the same time, so foreshadowed. They had so many people coming on saying Drew's going to win. Drew's going to win. I also think that it was so obvious that Drew was going to win that it made it almost a given that he wasn't going to win.
Yeah, true.
I also don't think he needed it. I really don't think that Drew McIntyre parading around as a king for the next 6 months is what his career needs right now. I don't think that's going to take him to the next level. He's already at the next level. He just needs to be given the opportunity. It's not like anyone's like, well, he needs that one thing to get him over the hump. No, I don't think so. I think he just needs the opportunity, and he's going to take it and own it. So I think Ricochet winning makes the most sense.
Yeah.
I actually am wondering now if they're going to... Obviously, Corbin winning is the big, the odds-on favorite, you would think, because everyone goes, well, they needed something to do with him. He's already gotten rid of the vest. He's prepared to start wearing the cape because he's wearing the wife beater now, or the tank top, excuse me. But you know what? I'm almost wondering if they're going to go in a different direction with this tournament and surprise everyone and have it be the smaller guys who get to the finals. And have it be one, to spotlight the stuff you're maybe not seeing on 205 Live.
Yeah.
And two, just to kind of give love to the smaller dudes in the company who are owning it right now. I feel like there's a good possibility we could see Cedric Alexander or Ricochet versus Buddy Murphy in the finals, or Ali. One of the two. Those are my four, right? Those are like the ones I feel like have the biggest chance of being in the finals now. Right? Does that make sense? Does that sound right?
I mean, King Corbin feels very predetermined, but I hear what you're saying. I know you mentioned this for Ali, but I would love it if Ricochet, but I would love it if Ricochet won this thing and then turned heel. That would be great.
That would be a terrible idea.
I would love it.
Why?
Because there's not really that many strong heels that are winning on Raw.
There's so many. There's a bunch.
That are winning, though. Not winning. They're fighting. They're not winning.
Yeah,
and
but he's such a clear-cut baby. Why would you undercut that so quickly?
His arrogance of being the king. Just seeing him turn, be a heel would be great. No one would see it coming. People would be so upset. And those are the best heel turns.
I also feel like, though, when you become one of those guys, you can't flip around. When you become a heel, you can't flip around as much. And then you kind of like undercut all the fun things.
Oh, yeah? You don't think you can do that?
Well, because the whole point is to get people to pop.
Oh,
the whole point of a big 450 or a 630 or whatever those are called on the outside, the planches on the outside.
Yeah.
The whole point of that is to people go, you don't see heels doing that. Like when Neville became a heel, he just like totally stopped even like doing his top rope finisher for a while.
Randy does the RKOs and all that kind of shit. Randy does all that shit.
Randy's not a high flyer.
It's true.
Randy can do hard-hitting mat work and have a hard finisher.
I guess did AJ turn it off? AJ's been jumping all over the ring as a heel when he was fighting Ricochet.
AJ doesn't really wrestle like a high-flying style as much anymore.
He's jumping off top ropes, jumping off it.
He does the forearm as the finishing move, but that's a forearm.
All right.
It's not really like a flip.
All right.
Right? Am I wrong?
No, I'm saying I don't know if I 100% agree. But
on which part?
On the high, you have to stop being a high flyer if you're a heel. Because that means there's no heels in 205 Live. or no heels at luchadors. Luchadors are heels all the time.
Well, I'm talking more in WWE than
Okay.
outside of the I'm talking about the confines of WWE here.
Is Andrade not a high flyer? You don't think Andrade's a high flyer?
He's not really doing flips and stuff. He's wrestling fast. He wrestles
Yeah.
a fast pace.
That's what I'm saying. Ricochet can do that.
He could, but he's also doing 630s. Why would you, and the people love him for it, why would you undercut that?
Because you can do a 630 and then get up and wipe your feet on the dude's chest. I'm just saying there's heel moves.
Maybe. I think you need to have more of an attitude, and he's such like a happy-go-lucky kind of a guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if he pulled that off yet either.
I think it's coming. I think down the road it's coming. Because he's not good on the mic. They'll figure something out. Him turning heel would be fun.
I would hate that.
Anyway, he takes on speaking of heel, takes on Samoa Joe next. This should be interesting. This will be a fun match.
But this match itself, I want to, before we breeze past it.
Sure.
So good.
Yeah.
Like, dude, those two are so, they just make things look effortless in the ring. I mean, when Drew McIntyre, he did this, he like clotheslined Ricochet. Ricochet flips back, and then Drew McIntyre rolls around and just like off the ground picks Ricochet up for a powerbomb and a sit-out powerbomb on the ground.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was took no effort. Like it looked like he just lifted him up like he was paper. And I'm like, oh, that's another human being. That's a grown, buff man.
Yeah.
Imagine just deadlifting a human being off the ground like that with ease. And I realized that, he's not going to sandbag his body, but still, like, it's a big man.
That stuff outside the ring.
Which part?
With Ricochet being thrown all around in the ring when he was just lying outside the ring. I thought for sure, like when he did, was it a clothesline or was it a leg kick? Whatever he did.
When he did the Glasgow kiss, you're talking about?
Yes, the Glasgow kiss outside the ring, and I was like, oh my god! And he rolled him in there.
Where like he Irish whipped Ricochet. Ricochet jumped over the steps, then went to like do like a Superman punch off the steps, and he just got headbutted and went down. I was like, whoa!
Yeah.
There was like inventive, cool spots in that.
Yeah, I know. He played off focus. He just went down. He just went
boom. Out.
So yeah,
I think that believable finish. I think that
absolutely.
I think that Ricochet has been positioned in a way to where it's less of like a whoa, the underdog did it, and more of just like that's how good Ricochet is.
Yeah.
That he uses all that, does his superhero like maneuvers, and he can still hang with the top guy in WWE. And I love that. I love that. They did a killer job with these two last night. I don't think Drew's affected in one bit in the negative for it.
Nope. If you can wrestle a great match, people like give you props for that, win or lose. Miz talks a great game before he takes on Baron Corbin and says that he wants it all, gives all this big promo, blah, 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 and everybody saw what was coming. Corbin ends up getting this thing. It was kind of a boring match. Not boring. I would say it was a decent match. That's it. That's it. They didn't give him as much time as McIntyre and Ricochet, and then it was over before you knew it. And then Corbin walked up to the throne, sat down, put on the crown, had the scepter, and gave his promo, which I liked actually. And so, I
liked it, but also this is why I guessed the smaller guys in the finals.
Yeah,
because it almost foreshadowed him winning too much. Similar to Drew McIntyre having Booker T and Stone Cold on Raw saying like, we think Drew McIntyre is going to win. I almost think that they want to make you think that that Baron Corbin is going to win. And that's why they drove it home even further. And that it's going to be that because who's he facing next? Cedric, right?
Yeah.
They're going to keep trying to like drive home that Cedric is like able. That's why I think Cedric's gonna get to the finals. I think Cedric's gonna keep upsetting people on his way to the finals.
Okay.
I think that Cedric Alexander is getting this push on WWE programming. I think that he can, in theory, beat Corbin.
Are they on opposite sides of the bracket?
Well, so it would be he'd beat Corbin, and if Ricochet beats Samoa Joe, I believe it's Cedric versus Ricochet. And those two could have a killer main event on Raw that would put them over both in a huge way.
Absolutely.
And that Cedric could win and like show that he's on the same level as Ricochet.
Yep.
on his way to the finals, they got a cool hugging moment. It would be awesome. So that's why I think that there's a possibility that he beats him.
I'm down with that. All right, the OC are interviewed in the back about losing the tag team titles and then having to be involved in this tag team turmoil match. They say they're the only club, the best club that's ever been, so they're going to try and prove it when they walk out there. Next thing, we go to Bayley versus Nikki Cross. This seemed like a random booking, although I didn't mind it necessarily. Just seemed a bit random.
It was random.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be a way better match than it was. And
quick, too.
Yeah, ended up being a quick victory, which this is the exact game or a game plan they use with the Iconics. Give them the belts, then have them consistently lose. That's a dangerous thing to do here, or at least if they're going to lose, have them have a good match. This was a straight loss. There was no controversy. It was a clean victory over Nikki. So I don't know if they're trying to just push Bayley over more and more. I don't know what's happening here, but Bayley gets the victory.
Yeah,
Anyway, it was a decent pop when she won.
I didn't really have a lot of emotion connection. So
Yeah.
I was like, I even rewatched this one again. This one I tried to, and I was just like, I don't know what it is, but it's not.
Bayley Charlotte is what we're waiting for.
Yeah.
This is all just filler.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It really is.
I think that.
There's no real pop here.
No, I don't know. I don't know if it's Bayley that's not connecting with me lately or what. I just really wasn't. I think it's a mixture of the two of them.
Okay.
I think that I'm still not feeling this new version of Nikki Cross as much as talented as she is.
Yeah.
It's not connecting with me. And Bayley, similar to Sasha, it's like Sasha needed that change, and now she's like great.
Yeah.
I just think there's something that's missing with Bayley right now for some reason.
Well, yeah, there is something missing with Bayley, and there is something missing with Nikki as well. I think they both don't have, for whatever reason. I think that's why the Bayley Charlotte thing is going to really show us what she's got.
Okay.
And if she's over with the fans, and can she get back over with the fans? You need a great person to make you. You need a good heel, a good face to bring out the best.
Agreed.
You really do.
Yep.
And any sport or sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it, you need that.
Yeah.
And so I think Nikki's not that one to do. I think Shaw's going to be the one for Bayley. And Nikki, to be honest with you, this was one of the not one of the best matches she's ever wrestled.
No.
There were some sloppy moments. There were some holes that were exposed in her game as a wrestler, and I'm a little concerned about her making that jump if she can. I don't know if she can. Certainly, character-wise, she was great for NXT. But once you get to something with wider top of the roster, it can be tough sometimes to make that jump.
You also underestimate. I know you like to say these kinds of things, but you also underestimate all the voices in the back. Like, it's not like she
all
can't.
I can do is show you what I see.
No, but what I'm saying is, it's. I sometimes don't feel like it's a reflection of Nikki, because we know Nikki can do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Nikki can't. We've seen her do it, and in a bigger stage on NXT, which I know isn't the main roster.
No, but I'm saying
you forget that there's producers in WWE on the main roster who are telling them how to wrestle. Specifically saying wrestle like this.
They're not choreographing the matches. They're calling spots in the ring. Isn't that what happens?
No.
That is what happens. There are all those videos where you can see them whispering what they're going to do next.
But they worked that out with a producer in the back beforehand.
Right. I thought just the end is worked out. How they get to the end.
Lots of the match is worked out out backstage with a producer.
Okay.
Like the top ones maybe aren't as much, but
Right.
like a lot of those matches are worked out before they ever get out there. They're not calling it in the ring ever anymore.
Really?
No.
Okay.
No one calls it in the ring.
Really?
No. Like rarely.
Okay.
Maybe house shows.
Okay.
But on TV? No. They have to so much of that shit is like mapped out.
Well, then how can you explain something like Cedric and Drew versus something like Bayley and Nikki?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, was that just choreographed so much better than Bayley and Nikki? Like, was that talked about with a better producer? Is that a better producer?
Well,
I think this is what, to me, it's like acting. Yeah, you can write a shitty line. The great actors can make it work.
You talking about Ricochet and Drew? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
The difference is that they're all supposed to serve different purposes on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So like Ricochet and Drew McIntyre was supposed to serve the purpose of this is our 15-minute athletic contest.
Great. What is the purpose of Bayley and Nikki then?
This was, to me, it was just a quick way to get Bayley on TV, and that was boring.
Yeah, it was boring.
I don't think it was meant to make Nikki look strong, which is why she was not looking strong.
Well,
it was meant to make Bayley look strong.
Okay, then overall, then I'm saying this is a mistake.
Fair.
Okay.
I just don't like when it's like poking holes. You say it's like poking holes in her skills. No, she's trying to do what she was told to do backstage.
Okay, that's fair.
Same with the Iconics. When they were told, hey, go out there and kill it for 2 minutes before you're finally going to lose the titles, they went out there, did all these dope tag team moves, and even you were like, that was pretty impressive. Why did they do that the whole time? Because they were told not to.
Okay.
That's how I look at it, at least.
Well, I think that's dumb.
That's why a lot of people say that. That's the Dean Ambrose way of thinking. He said, that's not fair.
That's not fair.
We are performers.
Yeah.
We are artists.
Let them do their thing.
Don't call them performance artists.
Ooh,
unless they want to be called that.
I didn't say that.
But
All right.
yeah, no, it's, I mean,
that's fair.
That's why I don't like to necessarily critique the wrestling sometimes unless it's like a pay-per-view match where like they were told go all out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, there's not every single match is scripted from beginning to end, but it's a producer who works it out with them. That's why there's 10 producers in the back that are sitting there going, okay, you have this match, you have this match, you have this match,
Now,
you have this
who
match.
tells the producers how to coordinate these matches? What they want out of those matches? That
People who are in charge.
All right. Hey, listen, they should fucking hire me because I will produce you 10 fucking matches every night that will kick down the house, that will tear down the house and kick down the doors. Because this is going on. There should be no match that does that. If
But
it's really
you've
based on
worked
the
in places
producer.
long enough to know.
And I produce the fuck out of shows.
Yeah, but you've produced shows long enough to know that sometimes you don't necessarily. You're not always producing what you think is best. You're producing what you think your boss is going to think is best.
Well, no, that isn't here. Well,
Not here necessarily. I'm not
I
saying
produce what I think is best
But
with the host.
you know that
but
that's
sometimes the host doesn't want to do certain things, and that you have to find the middle ground. That I do understand.
But you also understand that like a lot of people who work on shows that have tougher bosses than you, who have very firm bosses that want things done a certain way, that you're not there to necessarily.
That's true. You're there to kind of serve
You're
the
pleasing
overall
that
thing.
person.
Yeah,
You're
right.
not there to go like, I'm trying to give the best show possible to the fans.
Right.
Yeah, that's when you start there, you think that.
Yeah.
But when you've been screamed at and ridiculed and told how terrible your ideas are, and yeah, my idea is technically probably better, but I know he's gonna like this stupid fart joke better, then you go that way, you know? Yeah, like that's what ends up happening. I've been in that position where you go, I know what my bosses want. I've been here long enough, so I'm just gonna do what they want.
Woof.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. I do hear you. Absolutely hear you. All right.
But it wasn't an exciting match.
Maybe you've turned me around on this. Maybe it's the producer's fault, and I'm happy to talk about it that way, then kind of adjust my approach to things.
Great.
Strowman talking about beating Seth Rollins here for the Universal Championship in the back, and also talks about beating AJ Styles for his title. So we're setting everything up here with Strowman. We'll see how this all plays out. Will he? Well, at this point, we don't know. We didn't know if he was going to go win the thing and then take that in to face Seth. But good little quick promo. Then the tag team turmoil starts. Here we go. I'm just going to run down what happened,
Okay, cool.
and then we'll talk about it.
Well, if I stop you, then maybe I have an opinion, but start.
Yeah. All right. Viking Raiders taking on B Team. The Viking Raiders win this thing pretty quickly. Then they take on the OC, which leads to a double DQ. Then out of nowhere.
Well, let's stop on the double DQ part.
Stop at double DQ.
What'd you think about them doing that?
I didn't like it.
Okay.
I thought it was a terrible decision, but I also get it because you don't want either one to lose face. So you have them DQ, which is what they used to do in the old days, right? They used to double DQ. Kids enjoy results now because in the old days, double DQ was standard fare.
Especially if you watch WCW and stuff like that, it was always like a DQ.
It was standard fare. WWF did it for a long time as well to save these rivalries and keep them going. We just saw it recently with Kofi and Randy. Kind of keeps that rivalry going. That's why you do it. This, you do it so neither one loses face. Viking Raiders or OC, the most recent champs.
I'm only cool with double DQ like that when it's an unimportant match like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Technically, there's bigger stakes, but unimportant. I hate it when it's on pay-per-view and that happens.
I agree. I agree. All right, then.
Wait, before, so I was letting you finish. I agree with you. I think you actually, I think you nailed it completely there. I think that, it was like yin and yang. No, I would have liked to have seen them wrestle, but I totally understand where it's going. It starts a feud that will probably be pretty cool. It gives the OC something to do now. If they're not maybe going to be going for the tag titles, it gets the Viking Raiders finally in a feud, which we've been wanting.
Yes.
So I did like that.
Yeah. All right, then Ziggler and Rude out of nowhere coming together as a tag team.
What the?
Which I'll be honest
I stopped
with
myself when my dad texted me.
when it was announced, I initially was like this, what? And then I was like, okay. Maybe this could be fun because we've all of us who love Bobby Roode have been clamoring for Roode to get into something that has some weight to it, and for Ziggler to get a little more showcase without it having to be like, why me? So they take on Lucha House Party. They end up getting the victory here over Lucha House Party, which was a brutal victory, like a brutal shot by Roode. I think it was
the team. Before we could pass on it,
no,
I want to talk
Ziggler
about
with the kick,
the Ziggler and Roode thing. I was.
Ooh.
I just thought it was very random, right? I was like,
It was random.
It was like, these are all actual teams. Is there any chemistry between Roode and Ziggler? But you know what?
Very good point.
I think that both of them are very talented. If it takes Ziggler away from the "it should have been me" stuff and moves him in the direction of like a serious team with Rude, I'm into it because the team with Drew McIntyre helped Drew McIntyre get to the next level.
Yep.
If it can help Bobby Roode too, then great. I think that Bobby Roode is a really talented guy. He's finally being full-blown heel.
Yep.
They got rid of the stupid mustache. And it seems like from what Cedric Alexander said about Paul Heyman in the interview that I did with him, he said that Paul was watching a match between him and Bobby Roode on Main Event a few months ago and said he was really impressed by it.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that he also was impressed by Bobby Roode.
Of course.
And that maybe he's having something to do with this, and this is something that he sees as a good team. As someone pointed out, that they kind of look like Rick Rude and Kurt Hennig, which I kind of like the comparisons. And maybe that's why Heyman saw that, and I'm like, hey, you know what? Maybe they could be like that. But yeah, I kind of liked it all around. I was at first I rolled my eyes. I even said to someone, my friend, like, this is gonna be stupid if they win. But if this is the sign of like giving these two something serious to do, I'm into it. If this is just like a throwaway thing for a few weeks to get us to Clash of Champions, I don't like it.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. They did fight the Revival next, and they end up getting the victory over the Revival. Rude gets that victory, gets that pin. Then they absolutely demolish Hawkins and Ryder, and finally they take on Heavy Machinery. This was a great back and forth. Machinery almost pulled it out a couple of times, but Rude and Ziggler get the victory here. So now they're going to take on Rollins and Strowman for the titles, the tag team titles. I think it'd be great if they win these things, and they could be a fun heel team. It reminds me, I get the Kurt Hennig, Rude totally makes sense, but I also see a little bit of Cesaro and Sheamus here. Put together, people are kind of like, what? But they end up finding a chemistry. I could see even Rude doing this thing above while Ziggler does the below. You could even see the DX thing, below thing. It totally works to have them come together. I hope they have the chemistry on the mic and in the ring that you would need to make this thing work. Because, Lord God, like I've mentioned many times, and of course you know, Rude was great in that tag team.
Beer Money.
Yeah, Big Money. What?
Beer Money.
Beer Money, right. The Beer Money. He was great on that Beer Money tag team. So putting him with another performer like Ziggler would be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm open to it.
Yeah.
I'm very open to it.
Okay.
I think that, like I said, if it's a thing that they only do for a few weeks and then it's over, I don't like it as much.
Yeah.
But if it's a thing they're going to get behind, those two guys could be the basis of a stable.
Yes.
I mean, like, those two guys in the Revival could be like a thing. And even throw Randy Orton in there as like the actual leader, as like a Dangerous Alliance type group. I'm into it. Like old school type guys, I'm into it. But I don't know if that'll happen, but I'm saying I like it.
No, I like it. Do you like the idea of the tag team turmoil? Did you like that?
Yeah, I think that the whole 2 out of 3 falls or elimination matches were getting played out, but this didn't feel like that to me. This was a nice hour of the show. It was like, it really felt like they gave a whole hour to wrestling, and I'm like, you can't be mad about that, right? I feel like it was like an hour.
It was a long time.
Yeah, it was a long match. So I liked it. I thought it was a good idea.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to what we mentioned near the beginning there. Sasha and Natalya now come out, get into this thing with their matchups. Sasha, good. This was a good match. This was an enjoyable match.
And this was also a short match.
It was,
but still served its purpose much better than the Bayley one did.
Absolutely. Natty was brutal here with some of her shots that she delivered and took. So I gave a lot of
German
props.
suplex.
Woohoo! When she just flung her in the air. Yeah,
that was like Brock Lesnar style.
Yes, props to Sasha for taking that bump, obviously, because I'm sure they talk about it ahead of time. But also, Natalya got thrown through a chair, which almost looked dangerous to her, and the way she hit that chair, and then thrown into the ring post. All of this was great.
I also loved the finish where she had to like wrap the arm around for even more kind of like torque on it, and she was smiling while doing it, like an evil like smile, and then she wins, and then she leaves and comes back and locks it on again. I thought this once again, Similar to, I believe, last week.
Yeah.
Where it was like the promo thing they had her do first was kind of meh, but then when she attacked Daddy later in the show, it was awesome.
Yeah, true.
And it's kind of like this. It was like the promo was meh, but when she was like in the ring again, being like a vicious heel, loved it. It was fantastic.
What's this leading to? Her and Natty again at Clash of Champions, or is it her and Becky? What's
Her
it
and
leading
Becky.
to? Okay.
It's got to be her and Becky.
Well, they're setting up this thing consistently with Natty.
They are.
Either Natty's just filling the void for now until the Clash of Champions match with Becky. Is that what she's doing? Because Natty's doing a great look. I'm not always the biggest fan of her getting these opportunities, but Natty is putting Sasha over well in this situation and enduring the jeers of the fans to do so. So props to Natty.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I think the match has to be
Yeah, her and
Sasha
Becky.
and Becky, but
Unless it's a triple threat.
what's after Clash of Champions? I gotta look it up.
Wouldn't Survivor Series be after Clash of Champions?
Maybe. I feel like you maybe wait. Yeah, you know what? Hold on.
I think you wait till Survivor Series.
Pay-per-view schedule 2019. I think you might want to wait till Survivor Series too for that. I'm pulling it up right here.
Do they put
schedule? So we got Clash of Champions. Oh, Hell in a Cell.
Oh,
in
Hell in a
October.
Cell.
Then Survivor Series. Well, Crown Jewel, which they're not going to be on that one.
Right.
And then Survivor Series is in November.
Hell in a Cell.
No, I guess you do.
You could do Natty at Clash of Champions, and then you could do Hell in a Cell with Becky, possibly.
And Survivor Series against Becky? Like,
Yeah.
let it go all the way?
Or you do Natty Hell in a Cell to finish this thing off, and then Becky and her at Survivor Series.
I think she beats Natty. Maybe at Clash of Champions.
Yeah.
Then she beats Becky Lynch at Hell in a Cell for the title.
And then
And then Becky regains the title maybe at WrestleMania. Not Survivor Series.
Oh,
You
at
can't do that
WrestleMania.
quick. That's a WrestleMania.
I'm down with that. I'm
Yeah,
down with
Becky
that.
do her redemption to get back
Yeah.
to WrestleMania.
What's the deal with Lacey?
I don't
Is she
know.
injured?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Drastically had her presence removed. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's used a lot too. I know.
I know what I'm saying.
I know.
I thought maybe you had some insight into it.
I don't think she's injured.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
Fascinating.
Um,
She's not pregnant again or anything with her?
yeah, no.
Okay. She has a child, right?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if she was pregnant. That's what I'm
I
asking.
mean,
It's not a negative to be pregnant. Brian.
to leap is all I'm saying.
I'm just saying that happens sometimes. People get pregnant randomly.
Heath Slater hasn't been on TV. Is he pregnant?
Yeah, well, for all the wrong reasons.
But the match was really
I got
good.
kids. Yeah,
I
well-
really enjoyed the match. I thought they've done a great job with Sasha Banks on making her seem like a vicious heel.
Yeah, I like this. I need a little more. Sasha heel.
I need just a little more of the on the mic now. On the story purposes.
Sure,
yeah.
absolutely. But I need a little more NWO heel Sasha. I want NWO heel type vibe. I want that.
Okay.
And I'd like to see a little more brutality.
She's been pretty brutal since she
Bank
came
statement,
back.
yeah, the bank statement. I want to see sledgehammers. I want to see steel bars. I want to see things of that nature. I want to see blood.
She slammed Natty's head into like
In the steel
those drawers and told her
She did.
Said, tell your daddy go
Yeah.
to hell and tell your daddy I said hi. That's pretty intense.
So maybe Hell in a Cell is a casket match. I love that. Oh, God, that's terrible. All right, Cedric Alexander takes on Cesaro in the next King of the Ring match
Rocha's
here.
on one today.
Hello, I'm going to Australia. I'm scared. I'm 15 hours on a plane. I'm nervous as fuck. I'm sorry to cuss, Mr. Satin.
Sorry, Scott.
Put me on First Family. Anyway.
Then I won't cuss.
Yeah, then I won't cuss. All right, Cedric gets the victory here after eight. I thought this was a fantastic match.
Very good match.
Both of them really brought it. Cesaro, once again, he's taking these losses. He's putting people over for now. Maybe he'll get another run down the road, but certainly doing great work here with Cedric.
That's why I just want to send Cesaro back to NXT.
Yeah.
NXT, dude. It's gonna be on USA. It's gonna need a few extra stars from the
will.
main roster.
It will.
He was the big boss of NXT back in the day. He was like the guy you had to get through to get to the main roster. Send him back there and do it again. People love Cesaro, and I'm not complaining with the fact that he lost. I think Cedric Alexander should have won.
Yeah.
I think it made sense. I just feel bad. I think that Cesaro could be showcased in a better light if his situation were different. However, it's not, and I feel like it made sense to have Cedric Alexander win here because he's still in the tournament. Like I said, I think that he's going to be the sleeper where he's going to keep upsetting people and get to the finals.
Right.
So because of that, I think you need to show that he can beat Cesaro. He can beat these people that, you condition them to think, well, if he can beat Cesaro, he can beat he can beat Baron Corbin.
Right.
And so that's why I liked it. Solid match. These two guys they're just both so good in the ring that, like, obviously they're not gonna have a bad match. I mean, both of them are just, they're so talented. And I actually liked the finish. Kind of the lumbar check came out of nowhere. It felt like, and it was like, whoa, oh, all right, cool. You know, it was well done all around. I felt like.
Agreed completely. And there's nothing more I can add to what Ryan said.
Yeah, there wasn't like a lot to this match.
Yeah, there really wasn't. It's good to see Cedric win. We'll see where that goes. We got a recap of The Fiend. Just to remind us that The Fiend is still dancing around somewhere out there doing his thing. And then we move on to this AJ Styles versus Braun Strowman match. Wolf Daddy. This was actually, for the amount of time that it was allowed to have a wrestling match, this was a good match.
Yep.
AJ had some good moves. Strowman, certainly the brutality of Strowman constantly rearing its head was frustrating for AJ, and I enjoyed that. And then the referee got knocked out, and all kinds of hijinks ensued. And then the OC comes down, tries to help. He dispatches all of them. Strowman does, then turns around with that chair, and AJ flops to the ground in front of the ref before the ref turns around, and the ref disqualifies Strowman. But then Strowman lays waste to the entire OC as the show ends.
Yes.
All right.
I like what they're doing, Braun Strowman. You know, I feel like him and AJ have surprisingly a good amount of chemistry in that ring together. You wouldn't have expected that between the two of them. Similar to what I said last week. I like them. I like what's going on between these two guys right now. I think that AJ's doing a good job of helping Braun feel like a monster again a little bit, just in the ring. And that he's someone who can have a good match with anyone, I feel like, or helping him show that at least. I feel like Braun has really stepped up his game.
Yes.
I feel like he is showing that he can be at the top, that he shouldn't have been, his push should not have been pulled back on a little bit, and that they should go full steam ahead again on it. I feel like I really like Braun right now, and I feel like AJ and the club are also fun. I liked AJ pulling the old Eddie Guerrero-like move where he tosses the chair, lays down or whatever. It wasn't quite Eddie, but it was close enough, you know?
Close.
I thought that, you know, I thought that it was, everyone played their parts well.
Okay.
I just felt like it was kind of like, I don't know if it was a great way to end the show, because I don't feel like it left me on a cliffhanger necessarily. And I know that maybe we've had enough cliffhangers on SmackDown with the Daniel Bryan or the Roman Reigns stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just kind of felt like it was a very, like, the ending itself was kind of like okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, hell yeah. Like, that was Raw, baby. You gotta watch next week, you know? It was more so like, okay, that was good. That was fun.
Yeah.
You know? It was kind of like a dud of an ending.
I kind of thought so too. Like, okay, great. The heels all lose again in a way to Strowman, and he just marched out of the ring.
Well, they won.
Yeah, but they won the DQ match, right? But I'm saying, like, they lose getting their butts kicked all over the ring. They're literally
when he went ham with the chair afterwards and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. They're listening to human waste lying around on the ring while he walks away from it. So I mean, like, I don't know what it's going to lead to, but you know, it was a decent way to end the show. You know, you push the ferocity of Strowman, you get him back into that mindset, or you get us back in that mindset about him, that he's this monster among men. So you accomplished that.
I also saw Ma this weekend. That movie Ma.
Oh yeah, with Octavia Spencer.
I felt like that also had a lackluster ending. It was very similar, where I was like, okay. Did you see that movie?
Yeah, I liked it.
You liked that?
I thought she was great.
She was great, but the ending was kind of like expected.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, okay, that's what I figured was happening.
Right.
There wasn't, they were like, oh, damn.
Right, not in the ending, but certainly through the movie.
Well, certainly through the movie.
A lot of old dams in that movie.
But also, like, it was very expected, I felt like.
Okay.
Like, her reasoning was like, I literally figured that out in the first, like, 10 minutes of the movie. It was like, pretty sure that's what's going on here.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
So it's similar. I felt like lackluster ending to Raw, lackluster ending to Ma.
I think you need to see Ready or Not. See what you think.
What movie is that?
Ready or Not's the one with Samara Weaving, where she's the bride. On that night, she has to play that crazy game of hide and seek with the family's trying to kill her. She has to make
that
it.
Movie.
Oh yeah, it's coming out, I think, next week, or it's already out now actually.
It's in theaters.
It's in theaters. She's a bride who gets married. That night, she goes to the reception, and at the reception, she's told that she was going to go see the family. They all go see the family, and the family tells her, "You have to play this game." And they do this little thing, and the card comes out, and the card it says hide and seek, which is the deadly game. So she has to survive to 6 a.m. in order to stay married to the guy and, like, live. So it's the whole family.
I would just be like, nah, I'm good.
No, but they try to kill you. They have guns and rifles and crossbows and
I don't want to
axes.
play this game or get married anymore. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
But it's actually a surprisingly damn good movie, so I would recommend that. And I don't.
I'm so behind on movies, and I gotta see Good Boys still too.
Oh, Good Boys is fun.
I
liked
really
Good
want to
Boys.
see Good Boys.
Yeah,
There's a bunch of movies I'm behind on.
All right, well there you go.
Yeah.
We'll do that one too. And the Peanut Butter Falcon. You
Oh
gotta see
God,
that.
that's out too.
Yeah.
I know. Collider got invited to the screening. No one told me, and I was pissed.
Oh shit! I didn't know it was I would have I invited you too. But I interviewed the
Says
filmmakers.
the guy who gets mad when
I do.
when I don't invite him to wrestling shows.
You never invite me to wrestling.
That's not true.
Oh, that's right. You did. I got sick that one time. You're right. You're right. Fair enough. I was sick, not got sick. But I do have if you want to listen to the deep cut that dropped today, the new episode, I interview the two filmmakers of Peanut Butter Falcon.
What, you did?
Yeah. And they talked about how they got Jake the Snake and Foley to be part of the movie.
When was this? They came into the office?
Yeah, this was last week. They came in the office.
Should have told me once again.
Oh, you weren't in the day. You weren't in that day.
Should have told me ahead of time. I would have
Oh,
come.
I'm sorry. I
To do
wish
something for
you-
the site.
I apologize. I'm going to put it. Oh, yeah. I can write something up for the site if you want.
Put something together and then
All
send
right.
it my way and see what happens.
Sounds good. There you go. That's how it happens, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that's the Raw recap here for this week. Ryan, tell them where they can listen, watch, and read everything we do.
You guys know already. No, I'm just kidding. It's ProWrestlingSheet.com. That's the website where you can find all the top stories in the world of professional wrestling throughout
Brilliant.
the week.
Brilliant.
At Wrestling Sheet on social media, youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. That's where you can find all the videos, Raw and Smackdown recaps, Wrestling Sheet radio, interviews, and various things. Go there, subscribe, like, comment. But if you just want to listen while you're driving, working out, cooking, wherever you listen to podcasts, whatever you're doing, I'm not going to judge you. Go to your favorite podcast platform, whether it be Podcast One, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, anything I have probably never heard of. I'm sure it's there. Just search Wrestling Sheet Radio. There's like a 99% chance it's there. Just search for it. You can find me. I'm at Ryan Satin on social media.
There you go. Follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. Sadly, I won't be able to do the SmackDown Live recap tomorrow, so I hope it goes well with Ryan and whoever he's chosen. I will
Figure
be
that out still.
I'll be on a plane to Australia, hanging out with the koalas.
Don't do that
I know,
accent while you're
it's
there.
terrible. Is Neville Australian?
No.
Oh, one of those wrestlers is Australian. I don't know who it is. I'm sorry about that. I don't mean to offend you. All right, well, you guys take care. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you next week for another Raw or at least I will for another Raw recap, Pro Wrestling Sheet with this man right there, Ryan Satin. Bye.
ProWrestlingSheet.com